The altimeter spins past 600 knots, the G-meter slams to 9, and the canopy glass starts to flex like it's breathing, groaning under the strain. Inside that cockpit, a student pilot's neck veins bulge, his eyeballs flattened against their sockets, and the comms crackle with a voice that's eerily calm, almost detached. You black out, you die. Just freeze that frame in your mind. Because in the next 12 months, that very same kid who's currently fighting to stay conscious might be trusted with a $70 million fighter jet and the lives of countless people below it. How does a civilian, someone just like you or me, turn into that person? How do they develop the iron will and the incredible skill to operate at the razor's edge of human performance? Stick around. We're going step by step through the crucible, the intense, unforgiving process no one ever really lets you see. This isn't just about flying. It's about transformation. When most people think about military pilot training, their minds probably conjure up images straight out of Hollywood. A montage of cool call signs, high fives, and perfectly executed maneuvers. They picture sun-drenched beaches and triumphant fist pumps. The truth, though, it's a lot messier, a lot harder, and infinitely more demanding than any movie could ever portray. We're talking about months of vomiting in centrifuges, nights spent meticulously folding a parachute until your fingers are raw and bleeding, and simulator failures that are so realistic, so crushing, they make you question every childhood dream you ever had about soaring through the skies. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain and show you the 4 gates, the monumental, sometimes brutal stages every single Air Force, Naval, and Marine aviator must walk through. From the very first, almost impossibly stringent medical exam to the final, high-stakes mission where instructors throw everything short of live missiles at you, trying to break you, trying to make you quit. By the end of this, you'll not only understand why this training is so intense, but you'll also know why only 1 in 3 selected applicants ever gets to wear those coveted wings. It's a journey of physical and mental endurance, a complete rewiring of a human being, and it starts long before anyone ever touches a stick. Before anyone even gets to scream, "Gear up!" or dream of breaking the sound barrier, the military has to dramatically shrink the applicant pool. Think of it as an industrial-strength funnel designed to filter out anyone who isn't absolutely perfect for the job. And believe me, it's far more brutal than any college admissions process. This initial culling starts with the comprehensive 4-hour flight physical. This isn't your annual checkup. It's an exhaustive, microscopic examination designed to uncover any tiny imperfection. They're looking for things like subtle color blindness, even minor depth perception flaws, or that old shoulder surgery you completely forgot about, the one that might limit your range of motion just enough to be a deal breaker in a high G environment. Anything less than perfect, and you're out. No exceptions. But physical perfection is just the first hurdle. Next up is the academic qualifying test, or AQT. This isn't a pop quiz. It's a gauntlet of advanced calculus, physics, and spatial reasoning problems, all delivered with an unforgiving 90-second per question pacing. Imagine trying to solve complex equations under that kind of pressure. Miss too many questions, or fail to demonstrate the innate aptitude for rapid problem solving, and your dreams of a fighter jet might evaporate, re-rating you for drones, transport aircraft, or perhaps a desk job pushing paperwork. It sounds harsh, but the stakes are too high for anything less. Finally, for those who manage to clear those initial academic and physical hurdles, there's the interview with the board of senior aviators. This isn't just a chat. It's an Olympic-level panel interview where they're grading your leadership potential, your resilience, your judgment under pressure, and your fundamental character. They're looking for that intangible spark, that unwavering commitment. They'll ask you about your motivations, your failures, how you handle stress, and what you're willing to sacrifice. The prize for impressing this panel? 10 years of your life committed to service to the most demanding career imaginable. It's a profound commitment, and they want to make sure you understand the weight of it. Only the top 25% of applicants, the absolute cream of the crop, walk out of this process with a coveted slot in flight school. To put that into perspective, statistically, the acceptance rate at Harvard is actually friendlier. It's a testament to how incredibly selective this path is, weeding out the vast majority before they even see a cockpit. If you thought the initial selection was tough, welcome to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination, or API. On the surface, it might look a bit like college, with classrooms and lectures, but then you notice the screening. Not the casual yelling of a sports coach, but the intense, purposeful shouting designed to strip away any remaining civilian ego and build an instant, unthinking response to authority. This phase is all about breaking down preconceived notions and rebuilding you from the ground up, starting with your physiological limits. Take, for instance, the hyperbaric chamber. They don't just tell you about hypoxia, they make you live it. They drop the pressure to the equivalent of 25,000 feet, simulating a rapid decompression. And while your brain is being starved of oxygen, they tell you to do long division. It's an insane task, and you'll watch your fingernails turn purple, your handwriting devolve into a child's scrawl, and your thought processes become utterly muddled. It's proof. Undeniable proof that hypoxia turns even the brightest, most capable adults into confused, giggling toddlers. The lesson? Recognize the symptoms, understand your body's limits, and react immediately. Your life and the lives of others will depend on it. Then there are the daily 0500 swim sessions. These aren't leisurely laps. They start with a safety swimmer ripping your mask off underwater, disorienting you completely. Your primal instinct screams panic to crawl your way to the surface. But if you panic, if you break composure, you fail. The test is to stay calm, find your mask, retie the knot, and continue. It's a brutal exercise in controlling your body's most basic fight or flight response, a skill that will be vital when things go wrong at 500 knots. Night after night, the briefings continue. They're not just about flying, they're about survival. You'll be drilled on emergency procedures for every conceivable failure. Imagine learning how to pop a broken canopy with a $2 ejection seat handle that feels like trying to crack a safe while the building is on fire around you. The details are grim, the scenarios terrifying, but the repetition is critical. It instills muscle memory, a deep, ingrained understanding of what to do when your life hangs in the balance. By the time graduation rolls around, if your resting heart rate is still above 100 BPM, the instructors will probably just smile. They know they've already started building the stress tolerance, the unshakable calm under pressure that you'll absolutely need in the phases to come. API isn't just about knowledge, it's about forging a new, resilient core.
You've made it through the funnel, survived API, and now, finally, you're introduced to your first real aircraft, the T-6B Texan II. It's a turboprop, a sleek tandem seat trainer that at first glance looks almost harmless. But don't let its friendly appearance fool you. This isn't a joyride. This machine can pull more Gs than most roller coasters, and it's capable of stalling like a shopping cart missing a wheel, completely losing aerodynamic lift if mishandled. This is where the rubber meets the road, where the theory from API gets tested in 3 dimensions, and where, for the first time, the aircraft itself can actually kill you. Lesson 1. Basic attitude flying. This is the fundamental skill of keeping the little airplane symbol on your instrument panel glued precisely to the artificial horizon. It sounds simple, but in a constantly moving, vibrating environment, it's a profound challenge. Your instructor, sitting right behind you, is watching your every twitch, every slight deviation. Mess it up, let the nose wander or lose control for even a second, and you'll feel a sharp tap on the controls, a subtle yet unmistakable correction. That tap means you're buying the crew pizza after the flight. It's a lighthearted consequence for a serious mistake, but it drives home the point. Precision matters, every single second. The most anticipated and arguably most terrifying day comes around 65 flight hours, solo day. The plane is fueled to the tabs, your logbook is signed, and you're sitting in the cockpit alone for the very first time. The dash warning lights wink at you, almost conspiratorially, like they know something you don't, whispering doubts into your ear. The air is thick with anticipation and adrenaline. You have to nail 3 perfect landings, bringing that powerful machine gently back to Earth by yourself. Do that, and you progress, moving closer to your dream. But bounce just one landing, come in too hard, or mishandle the controls, and you repeat the entire phase. You keep repeating it until either your skill catches up to the standard, or your money or the military's patience runs out. Usually it's the former, but the pressure is immense. This phase isn't just about learning to fly. It's about learning to fly perfectly, under immense pressure, with no room for error. It's where the abstract concept of responsibility becomes terrifyingly real. You've flown solo, you've mastered the basics. Now it's time to confront the most physically demanding aspect of military aviation, G-forces. High altitude, low oxygen environments are almost cute by comparison, a mere prelude to the brute force that sustained 9G turns will slam through your body. In the human centrifuge, a massive spinning arm designed to simulate these extreme forces, students practice what's known as the hook maneuver. This isn't a natural breathing technique. It's a tactical, life-saving skill. You exhale every last molecule of air from your lungs, then you tense every major muscle group in your lower body and core, calves, quads, glutes, abs, making them rock hard. Then, with a closed glottis, you flick a tiny breath, just a sip of air every 3 seconds. It's an unnatural, almost painful process, but it's your only defense. Get it wrong, even slightly, and blood immediately drains from your brain. Your vision starts to tunnel, shrinking until you're looking through a soda straw. Then it grays out, the world turning monochrome, before finally, inevitably, you black out completely. The instructors, observing from a control room, watch the ECG monitor. The moment that vital electrical activity flatlines into a sleepy, unresponsive curve, they terminate the run, slowing the centrifuge. You wake up disoriented and gasping, realizing how quickly consciousness can be stolen from you. The process repeats again and again until you can stay conscious for a full 30 seconds at 9Gs. Why 30 seconds? Because in a real dogfight, that half minute, that precious window of sustained awareness is the difference between firing first and eating an enemy missile. It's the difference between life and death. The centrifuge isn't just a test of physical endurance. It's a brutal forging of mental fortitude, teaching you to override your body's natural limits and make breathing itself a weapon. It's where you learn that survival isn't just about flying the jet. It's about mastering your own physiology. Hollywood might glamorize aerial combat, but it rarely shows you the grimy, terrifying reality. Pilot stitching at sea happens far more often than movies let on, and when it does, your training kicks in or you don't make it. This phase starts with the mock fuselage, a section of an aircraft dropped unceremoniously into a wave pool. You strap yourself in, the lights go out, and then, with a lurch, it flips inverted, plunging you into darkness and churning water. The windows stay blacked out, disorienting you completely. Your task? Find your reference point in the dark, release your harness, swim to a pocket of trapped air, count to 5 to slow your racing heart and calm your panic, and then, using only touch, follow the egress cable out. It's a terrifying, claustrophobic experience designed to simulate the disorientation of a real-world ditching. But that's just the beginning. The next station involves parasailing behind a boat at a blistering 30 miles per hour. Without warning, instructors yank the canopy release, sending you plummeting into 60-degree water, weighed down by 40 pounds of gear.
You've got a mere 45 seconds to deploy your one-man life raft, a tiny speck of orange against the vast, indifferent ocean. Fail to do so, and hypothermia begins its insidious work, claiming your body, stealing your coordination, and clouding your mind. If the uncontrollable chattering of your teeth prevents you from making a clear, coherent mayday call into your radio, you repeat the entire evolution, again and again, until radio discipline becomes automatic, an ingrained response. Even when you're shivering uncontrollably, your body screaming for warmth. This phase isn't just about learning to survive. It's about developing an almost superhuman ability to function under extreme duress, to prioritize critical tasks when every fiber of your being is screaming for comfort. The ocean, after all, isn't forgiving, and it wants you back. Imagine being plucked from your comfortable life and dropped into a hostile wilderness. That's the premise of egress and evasion training. A helicopter lifts you deep into remote, unforgiving woods, often hundreds of miles from civilization. You parachute in, burying your chute and any other signs of your presence, and then you have 3 days to reach a designated pickup point. But you're not alone. Hunters, often special forces personnel with tracking dogs, are hot on your trail, playing the role of an enemy force determined to capture you. Your daily calories? A paltry 400, about 2 energy bars. You're navigating using only a rudimentary paper map and a chipped wrist compass, relying on ancient, fundamental skills. You'll cover 25 kilometers a night, often through treacherous swamps, dense undergrowth, and freezing rivers, all while trying to remain undetected. Every rustle of leaves, every distant sound makes your heart pound. The goal isn't just to survive, it's to evade capture, to learn the art of stealth and self-reliance in the most unforgiving environments. And if you do get caught, that's when the real psychological test begins. The opposing force guards, playing their role with terrifying realism, throw you into a concrete cell for simulated interrogation. They use strobe lights, blaring metal music, and relentless questions about squadron tactics, mission parameters, and your fellow pilots. They're not looking for information. They're looking for weakness. They want to see if you'll break the military's code of conduct, if you'll give up classified information under pressure. Break the code, even subtly, and you're washed out. Your career as an aviator, over. But if you can last the required 24 hours, maintaining your composure, resisting their psychological gains, you pass. You'll never forget the smell of diesel heaters at 3 a.m. while someone screams through your blindfold, but you'll have proven your mental resilience under extreme pressure, demonstrating that you can protect vital information even when your mind and body are screaming for release. It's a brutal, necessary lesson in the realities of warfare. After the raw physicality of evasion, it's back to the cockpit, but with a twist. This time, instructors black out the canopy with a fabric visor, turning your entire world into a tapestry of glowing dials and digital readouts. The outside world, the familiar horizon, becomes utterly irrelevant. Just wallpaper. Your mission is to fly a 150-mile low-level route at 250 knots, relying solely on the needles and numbers on your dash. This isn't just a test of your instrument scanning, it's a test of your trust in technology, your ability to interpret complex data, and your spatial awareness when your natural senses are completely deprived. Miss a checkpoint by more than 5 seconds, and you're declared dead in contested airspace. In a real scenario, that slight deviation could mean flying into enemy radar coverage, or worse, colliding with another aircraft. The goal here is building an almost innate, seat-of-the-pants spatial awareness, a deep, intuitive understanding of your position and movement, even without visual cues. Why is this so crucial in the modern era? Because near-peer threats now possess the capability to fry GPS signals with sophisticated jamming technology, rendering your most advanced navigation tools useless. So students learn old-school techniques, VOR triangulation,
complex wind drift mental math, and timing hacks that would make a 1950s airline captain proud. It's a blend of cutting-edge technology and time-honored principles. Do it right, and you arrive at your target precisely on time, plus or minus 2 seconds, a testament to your mastery of the instruments and your mental calculations. Do it wrong, and the debrief is a soul-crushing line-by-line replay of every single misset heading bug, every missed cross-check, every moment you lost situational awareness. It's a forensic examination of your mistakes, designed to hammer home the fact that in the unforgiving world of military aviation, even the smallest error can have catastrophic consequences. This phase teaches you to trust your instruments more than your instincts, to navigate a world you can't see, and to maintain an almost perfect sense of position and time, all while flying at incredible speeds.
Once you've mastered flying solo by instruments, it's time to learn how to fly in incredibly close proximity to other aircraft. This isn't just about looking cool, it's about tactical advantage, mutual support, and survival in combat. You start with basic two-ship formation, learning the intricate dance of staying perfectly aligned. Then it graduates to the four-ship fingertip formation, a terrifyingly precise maneuver where the wingtips of your jet literally overlap with the wingtips of the aircraft next to you. You're flying just 6 feet away from a 20,000-pound machine, often loaded with live ordnance. The lead pilot makes a 5-degree heading change, and you have to match it instantly before the gauge even registers the movement. How do you do that? It's all about peripheral vision, subtle cues, and an almost telepathic trust in your flight leader. Your eyes are constantly scanning, not just your own instruments, but the subtle movements of the other jets, anticipating their every input. Night formation ups the ante significantly. The position lights of the other jets blur into streaks of Christmas tree lights against the blackness, disorienting and deceptive. Jet wash, the turbulent air trailing from the lead aircraft, bounces you like a speed bump, threatening to throw you out of position. Any overcorrection, any moment of hesitation, and you risk a mid-air collision, a catastrophic event that leaves no room for error. Instructors preach the mantra of loose but tight, relaxed on the stick, not white-knuckled, allowing the jet to breathe, but always maintaining precise control. Your eyes are outside the cockpit 80% of the time, scanning, anticipating, maintaining that peripheral awareness. But you must be ready to switch to instruments the instant you lose sight of your wingman, transitioning from visual cues to the cold, hard data of your displays. Botch the spacing, drift too far, or worse, get too close, and you'll hear the dreaded words crackle over the radio. Knock it off, knock it off. It's a public admission, broadcast to the entire flight that you've endangered the formation, a stark reminder of the unforgiving precision required in this high-stakes ballet of steel and speed. Formation flying isn't just a skill. It's a profound exercise in trust, discipline, and managing extreme risk. This is it. This is what many students have dreamed of since childhood: dogfighting. Air combat maneuvering, or ACM, is often described as chess, played at 30,000 feet, but with far higher stakes and speeds. You merge with an adversary at an incredible 1,000 miles per hour closure rate, the distance between you shrinking at a terrifying pace. Your immediate goal is to turn, to twist your jet into the optimal position, putting him precisely at your 12 o'clock, directly in your sights. Then you have to outrate him in the vertical circle, using every ounce of your aircraft's performance and your own skill to gain the advantage. Students learn the intricate art of energy management, how to convert altitude into airspeed for a quick burst of speed, how to trade that airspeed for superior position, and how to leverage that position into a missile lock, the growling tone of your radar becoming a hungry roar. The first time you feel the radar's snowplow scan stabilize on a target, the growling tone of a missile seeker grows solid and unwavering. Adrenaline wipes away every single hour you spent in a classroom. It's an electrifying primal moment. But get target fixated, focus too much on your adversary, and his wingman will exploit your tunnel vision, splashing you from behind with a simulated missile. Flights are scored like a boxing match with brutal honesty. Knockouts, simulated gun kills rate highest, demonstrating absolute dominance. Points drop dramatically if you bleed below corner speed, losing maneuverability, or if you over-G the jet, exceeding its structural limits. Rack up 2 death sorties in a row, 2 simulated kills against you, and the progress review commander will be signing a progress review that could easily send you home, ending your dream. ACM isn't just about flying. It's about tactical thinking, split-second decision-making, and understanding the complex interplay of physics, technology, and human psychology in a 3-dimensional battlefield. It's where you learn that raw aggression isn't enough. You need strategy, discipline, and an unshakable awareness of the entire fight. You've learned to fight. Now you learn to deliver. Weapons and strike training is where you transition from air-to-air combat to air-to-ground precision. Drop a 25-pound practice bomb down a barrel from 15,000 feet on day 1, and you'll still miss by 200 feet. It's a humbling realization of the immense difficulty involved in hitting a stationary target from miles above, let alone a moving one in a dynamic environment. Instructors painstakingly teach you mill setting tables, the complex trigonometry required to account for wind, speed, and gravity, and the sacred art of CCIP, continuously computed impact point pipper placement on your head-up display. Every fraction of a degree, every knot of wind, every slight change in attitude matters. Then come the strafe runs. 200 rounds of 20mm cannon fire aimed at a 20-foot square target, delivered from a screaming 75-degree dive angle. Your trigger squeeze lasts a mere 1.2 seconds, a burst of raw, destructive power. The smell of cordite, that distinct metallic scent of gunpowder, drifts through the vents, even with the environmental seal closed, a visceral reminder of the immense firepower at your fingertips. Laser-guided bombs add another layer of complexity, requiring precise sensor ball designation. You might laze the target yourself, have a buddy laze it for you, or even self-designate while the jet jinks violently to defeat simulated AAA or anti-aircraft artillery. Fail to release your ordnance within the critical 3-second employment window, and the range safety officer calls no drop. This isn't just a disappointment. It's a wasted sortie, a precious training opportunity lost, and it costs taxpayers more than your annual salary. The financial and strategic implications of every action are constantly reinforced. This phase isn't just about hitting targets. It's about integrating complex weapon systems, understanding their limitations, and executing precision strikes under immense pressure, knowing that every round, every bomb represents a significant investment and a critical mission objective. It's where you learn that the true power of an aviator isn't just in flying fast, but in delivering decisive impact. As if flying wasn't already challenging enough, now you add darkness. With night vision goggles or NVGs, the world transforms into a phosphorescent green landscape. Alien and disorienting, your depth perception halves, making 200 feet above the ground feel terrifyingly like rooftop height. Now, combine that with screaming along at 480 knots, executing a 60-degree bank at a mere 300 feet AGL. Your brain screams for more altitude, for the safety of open sky, while military doctrine demands you stay low, hugging the terrain to dodge enemy radar. It's a constant, visceral conflict between instinct and training. Instructors deliberately turn off external lights, forcing you to fly blind off the faint IR strobes of your lead aircraft, a tiny, pulsating dot in the green void. Misinterpret a waypoint, drift off course, even slightly, and you pop up into simulated enemy SAM coverage, marked by a sudden, ominous yellow smoke grenade detonating on the range below. The debrief software, a brutally honest judge, overlays your flight path with radar tape, revealing every terrain spike as a glaring red threat on the contour plot. Students learn humility very quickly, watching their meticulously planned flight path intersect a ridgeline that existed only in the darkness, a stark reminder of the unforgiving nature of low-level night flight. This phase isn't just about flying in the dark. It's about mastering a completely different way of seeing, navigating, and surviving in an environment designed to disorient and overwhelm, proving your ability to operate effectively when the Earth itself feels like a black, impenetrable wall. After years of grueling training, the moment arrives. Top graduates get to select their airframes, the ultimate reward for their perseverance. The F-35, the F/18, the F-22. These aren't just aircraft, they're instruments of national power, masterpieces of engineering. Then you move to the Fleet Replacement Squadron, or FRS, where the training intensifies even further, tailored to the specific nuances of your chosen beast. Here, the simulators are beyond anything you've experienced, replicating every weapon system, every radar mode, every classified countermeasure with astonishing fidelity. They are so realistic, you can almost taste the jet fuel. Then comes the first flight in your pointy-nose fighter. The engines light with a guttural bark, a primal roar that vibrates through your entire being. The afterburner kicks in, slamming you back into your seat like a horse, an uncontrollable surge of raw power. Sustained 7G turns, which you once struggled with in the centrifuge, now compress spinal discs you didn't even know existed. But this time, you're not just enduring, you're controlling. You practice carrier landings, aiming for that impossibly small 500-foot postage stamp of a deck bobbing in the ink-black ocean during night carrier qualifications. You snag the 3-wire, the arresting gear bringing your multi-million-dollar machine to a violent halt. The landing signal officer, or LSO, grades it OK3, meaning acceptable but not pretty, just good enough to join the fleet. It's a testament to the fact that perfection is the goal, but competence is the baseline. You practice basic fighter maneuvers until 50 repetitions make the muscle memory bulletproof, turning complex actions into instinct. This phase isn't just about learning to fly a new jet. It's about becoming one with it, mastering its every nuance, and preparing to take it into the most demanding operational environments on Earth. The culmination of years of relentless effort, sacrifice, and unimaginable pressure, graduation day. Families watch, beaming with pride and relief as the commanding officer pins on the wings, gold for naval aviators, silver for Air Force pilots. It's a moment of profound significance, a visual symbol of an extraordinary achievement. But while the cheers ring out, statistics flash silently on the squadron ready room wall, a stark reminder of the journey. Started with 30, finished with 12. The rest attrited, falling away for academics, for flight discipline issues, or simply for failing to meet the impossibly high standards. They weren't bad people, they just weren't cut out for this. The new aviators, now officially winged, sign a contract committing 10 years of their lives to service after winging. The financial cost of their training per pilot sits around a staggering $6 million. It's an immense investment, both for the individual and for the nation. But the look in their eyes isn't about money. It's about something far more profound. It's about belonging to an elite tribe, a brotherhood and sisterhood forged in fire and shared hardship. It's about the trust placed in them, the immense responsibility of national security, all while operating at 1,000 miles per hour, often in harm's way. These wings aren't just metal, they represent a transformation, a commitment, and a readiness to answer the call.
If you're finding value in seeing how these warriors are forged, how civilians become the guardians of our skies, then do us a huge favor. Smash that subscribe button and tap the bell so you don't miss our next deep dive into classified aircraft tech. We're always uncovering the hidden stories and the incredible engineering behind these machines. And hey, drop a comment below telling us which training phase looks toughest to you. Was it the mind-bending centrifuge, the terrifying water survival, or the disorienting night formation? I'll personally reply with the science behind staying conscious at 9G, because there's a whole lot more to it than just holding your breath. Earning those wings isn't the end of the journey. It's merely the beginning of another, even more complex one. Even after receiving their wings, pilots immediately head to advanced exercises like Red Flag, a multinational large-scale combat training exercise designed to simulate high-threat environments. Here, aggressor squadrons, flying aircraft painted to resemble enemy jets, replicate the tactics and capabilities of potential adversaries with chilling accuracy. Sorties start with briefs at 0300, launching before sunrise into scenarios like 2 friendly jets fighting 12 enemy aircraft. It's chaotic, intense, and utterly relentless. They land, debrief, grab a quick lunch, and then repeat the entire process in the afternoon. Data links stream over 300 symbols per minute into their cockpits. Friendly aircraft, enemy contacts, ground threats, intelligence updates. The human brain learns to filter this overwhelming noise to spot critical threats amidst the deluge of information, like picking out individual faces in a stadium crowd. Fail in the simulated desert, learn from your mistakes, adapt your tactics, and survive the next encounter. The instructors, seasoned veterans themselves, constantly remind them, the day you think you've mastered the jet is the day you die in it. It's a stark, brutal truth, reinforcing the fact that complacency is a death sentence in this line of work. The learning never stops, the threats constantly evolve, and so too must the aviator. Turning civilians into fighter pilots isn't just a job, it's an immense undertaking. It costs millions of dollars, demands years of relentless dedication, and requires more sweat, more tears, and more sheer mental and physical fortitude than most humans will ever pour into a single goal. It's a process designed to push the boundaries of human capability, to find the absolute limits and then push beyond them. Yet, the payoff is immeasurable. It's a deterrent force so potent, so capable, that it keeps adversaries awake at night, constantly calculating the cost of confrontation. It's the silent guardian that keeps the friendly skies open for everyone else, ensuring global stability and protecting national interests. So, the next time you hear the thunderous roar of a jet overhead, that unmistakable sound of power and precision, remember the freezing cold of the centrifuge, the terrifying disorientation of water survival, the impossible precision of night carrier traps, and the endless hours of study and simulation. Remember the unyielding crucible that shaped the person at the controls. This process isn't brutal by accident. It's brutal by design, for a very specific existential reason. Because at the tip of the spear, where the stakes are life and death, where the margin for error is zero, there is absolutely no room for second best. It's a profound testament to human potential, pushed to its absolute limit, for the sake of something far greater than any individual.